Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Inside Guns with your host, me, the Yankee Marshal. I think most of you out there are probably already aware that the state of Washington, where I live, has passed a standard capacity magazine ban. Now, they call it a high capacity magazine ban, but in reality, what this law does is it bans most standard capacity magazines. As of July 1st in the state of Washington, you will not be able to buy, sell, trade, or transfer any magazine over 10 rounds. And that includes most standard capacity magazines. Most of them are more than 10 rounds. A 10-round semi-automatic is considered low capacity by the firearms community. So this law really pretty much bans most magazines, period. Now, as for what's being done about it, I wanted to talk about that today because I've been getting asked this a lot during my live chats, etc. But by the way, we have a live chat every night. If you want to become part of the conversation, come to the live chats. It's 6 p.m. Pacific time every night except for Mondays and Wednesdays where it's 5 p.m. Pacific time because we're the opening act for Never Enough Ammo. So if you want to be involved in the conversation, please come on over. But like I said, I keep getting asked what's going on. Well, for a while I've been saying be patient. It takes a while for these things. It doesn't happen overnight. And as soon as there's something big enough to talk about, I'll talk about it. And a few days ago, something big enough to talk about happened. The Second Amendment Foundation, headed by Alan Gottlieb, I believe that's how you say his last name. I've met him and his son, nice people. They filed a federal lawsuit against the state of Washington, against Bob Ferguson, one of our leaders up there in northern Washington, and several other sheriffs and other county and state officials. And they've said that this standard capacity magazine ban violates both the Second Amendment and the 14th Amendment. And therefore should be declared unconstitutional and should not go into effect. They're also asking for a stay until they can be heard in court to try and stop it from going into effect on July 1st. That's the first thing we're hoping for is a stay. That's what we can hope for to happen right away. We'll see about that. Hopefully they'll let us all know and we can say, okay, good. At least we don't have to worry about that July 1st deadline. But if they don't get the stay, the lawsuit will still go forward, but we'll have to deal with the law as of July 1st, although it's not going to be hard to deal with the law because there's so many ways around it. So as long as it's not long-term, won't really cause much of an effect. So hopefully they'll get the stay, but if they don't, not the end of the world. But like I was saying, they have filed a lawsuit saying it violates the Second and the 14th Amendment. Everyone knows what the Second Amendment is. Your right to keep and bear arms. The 14th Amendment is basically, for those of you that are not constitutional scholars, it just basically says if there are rights that you have from being a citizen in the United States, well, states themselves don't get to negate those. They don't get to say, well, in our state, you can't vote. Or in our state, we still have slavery. And they can't say, in our state, the Second Amendment doesn't apply. They can't do that. So that's why the 14th Amendment violation, which is, I think, one of the most heinous things that laws like this do. They strip citizens of a state of the rights that are enjoyed by most of the people in the United States. That rights that are acknowledged on a federal level somehow don't apply on the state level. I don't like that. That's really bad for our union. So they're trying to get it overturned. They are trying to get a stay. They're actually fighting the fight right now. And if you want to be a part of the fight, and believe me, I'm not someone who tells you to go out and donate money to gun groups. I think everyone here knows I'm the opposite. I'm like, don't give these people money constantly just so they can pad their expense accounts and pad their salaries. Things like the NRA, the GOA, etc., that spend way more money on themselves than they do on anything else. Actually, wait till they're actually fighting a fight and then fund the fight. Well, in this fight, you can fund the fight now. If you go over to the Second Amendment Foundation's webpage, they have places you can donate. And if you want to get a memento, if you want to spend a little money and actually get a little something for it while still supporting the fight, you can go over to Aero Precision. I'll put a link in the upper corner of this video. You can go over there and you can order a magazine, an AR magazine over there, that is emboldened with the logo of the Second Amendment Foundation, the 2A, and then says standard capacity. I think it says standard capacity. It's something along those lines. I don't remember the picture right now. But that way you get to support the fight and you get a little something as a memento that we can hopefully look back on. Remember when they tried to outlaw these? I was helping in the fight. I like stuff like that. I'm kind of a hoarder when it comes to mementos, so love things like that. Love little badges, pins, awards, all that kind of stuff. I still have bowling trophies from many years ago that serve no purpose, but I don't throw them away because I like stuff like that. But that's what you can do if you want to help. You can either donate directly to the Second Amendment Foundation, or you can go over to Aero Precision, buy one of these magazines. I'd like to see these sell out. I know I'm going to order a couple. So hopefully everybody else out there, actually I think I'm going to order 5, even $100. I think they're $20 each or $19, something like that. So go over there and order one if you want to help fund the fight. But that's what's going on right now. Federal lawsuit has been filed. An injunction is being sought. But that deadline, July 1st, is coming quick. We'll see what can happen before then. But like I said, even if we don't get the injunction and it goes into effect, if we can get it taken out pretty quickly, I don't think anybody will suffer anything from it. Because here's the thing, you can still go across county lines or state lines and buy magazines and bring them back, and they can't prove you did that. It's a completely unenforceable law. It's a ridiculous law. Makes no sense. It's just a step towards something bigger. And that brings us now to the second part of this topic. Why do they even pass laws like this that have very little teeth, don't really make much difference, not going to stop crime? Well, the reason they do it is they know these laws are ineffective. They know they're not enforceable. Like I said, you can just go across state lines and buy a magazine and bring it back, and there's no way they can prove it. So they know there's no legal teeth to this law. But what it is, it's another chip in the foundation of the Second Amendment. They've hammered at that crack just a little bit more. Every time there's a tragedy, they use that to go and hammer away a little bit more of that foundation. Because they know they can't take down the house. If they said, hey, we want to burn down the house, people would not be on their side. So what they do is they create these little false scenarios where, hey, we can save lives if we do just this one little simple thing that doesn't make any difference and isn't going to hurt anybody. And they go after that low-hanging fruit and they chip a little bit more away at that foundation. That's what they're doing. It doesn't matter if the law itself has teeth or is going to make a change. They're not seeking to make any changes. Now, they do lie to people and say things like, oh, if bad guys didn't have 30-round magazines, you wouldn't be seeing mass deaths. We'd save so many lives, which is bullcrap, not supported by the facts whatsoever. I think we all know most deaths come from domestic issues, gang violence, and suicide. High-capacity magazines, as they call them, high capacity, don't play a role in any of that. They play a role in such a small portion of the number of deaths every year in this country. And I'm talking just gun deaths. If you look at other deaths, other causes of deaths, they're not even there. You wouldn't even see them on a chart. In fact, I'll prove that in a later video. In a later video, I'll go over all the lies they tell about how bad guys couldn't kill as many people and how prevalent mass shootings are. We'll do that in another video. But right now, I'm running out of time. So I just wanted to say, like I said already, the reason they pass these laws that really don't make a lot of sense and don't seem like that much of a transgression, it's because it doesn't take a giant law that would outlaw guns to actually get them where they want to go. They just keep chipping away at the foundation enough that eventually they feel that the Second Amendment will fall. There'll be so many restrictions that you can't even exercise your rights anymore. All these little restrictions you thought were nothing, they'll add up to something. And they'll always take them a little bit further each time. Because they know it's not going to stop crime. They know it's not going to have a positive effect in any way. So that way they can say, oh, look, 2 years ago we passed this law where we were very generous and we only took a little bit away. Well, that didn't work, so now we got to take a little bit more away. And that's how they win. They take a little bit at a time. So that's why I fight everything. I'm no compromise because I think the Second Amendment is essential to this country and we have to support it and we have to support its foundation. We can't allow it to be chipped away at till it collapses because when it collapses, the country will go with it. These people don't care. They are trying to take this country for the big corporations, the multinational corporations, the billionaires, the people who own the politicians. That's the end goal, to disarm the citizenry so they are nothing but a pliant workforce to benefit the people in power. So that's why they pass these stupid little laws, because it's one more step towards their ideal world where rich people know what's best for all of us and they have all the power. And with that being said, I am done for today. I hope you enjoyed the show. I really do appreciate you coming, and I hope you come back again tomorrow. Until then, remember, always carry and stay safe until I see you again.